Well, this is exciting. This is the second JC I've talked to today. I prayed this morning, and so now we're talking to Jeremy Camp, the other JC. I got to tell you, man, it's good to see you. We haven't talked for quite some time, and you have always been the picture of health as something for me to aspire to, but earlier this year, like, you had a big health scare, right?
Yeah, I think that has been, it's been one of those years for me, and you know, a lot of people don't know this, but I actually had another heart procedure last year for the same thing, but for a little bit different heart arrhythmia. So I never knew I had a heart arrhythmia, and it's a genetic thing. And they basically said that all of a sudden my heart would go into this rapid beat, 200 beats per minute, and sometimes for 20 minutes, whatever. So I go in and they're like, hey, you have a thing called atrial flutter. So I'm like, oh my goodness, this is driving me crazy. I'm feeling
You feel bad.
Oh, I mean, like, I can't, it's like running a marathon and you're sitting there laying down, like, I can't function. So I get the surgery and I'm like, cool, I think I'm good. This is last year, all right? So then during the surgery, they were like, hey, you have this thing that popped up. It's called atrial fibrillation, which basically is a worse heart arrhythmia that could cause, like, stroke, heart attack, because your blood could clot if your heart's beating irregularly.
Just so you feel comfortable here today sharing all this, I am an amateur first responder. I'm not technically trained.
So if something happens, you can take care of.
Yeah, I will jump into action. I will try to do chest compressions. I'm probably going to give you a tracheotomy with a pen. But
it's just my heart.
Yeah, but that's okay. We can't be too careful. You know, as amateur first responders, we want to be thorough. You know,
so you can't be too careful.
Yeah.
That's good. So anyway, so I think I'm good, but they're like, you may have AFib, we're not sure. So all of a sudden, this spring, one day my heart just literally went 220 beats per minute for 30 minutes.
What were you doing when that happened?
Nothing.
Really?
Literally nothing. So I was like, what is happening? And it's never happened twice in one day. An hour and a half later, it happened again. And I'm like, okay, something's not good. And at that point, I feel like something feels really bad.
Yeah.
I'm almost passing out, all this. So we send this, my watch, I took an ECG on my watch. Nice. I sent it to my doctor the next day, and they were like, yeah, that's AFib. That's dangerous because your heart rate's been 220 beats per minute for half an hour. It's not good. So anyway, they're like, we got to do surgery. They call it an ablation. So they go up through your arteries and your legs, and they actually burn off or burn a part of your heart to put like this boundary so the electrical impulses don't actually go past the boundary.
It's like a wall.
Yes.
Okay.
But it doesn't actually work 100% until it scars, and it could take up to 3 months to scar.
Oh, but that could be a beautiful song, though, really.
Bro, there's a song I wrote. The listeners, a song I wrote on my new record.
Let's go.
So there's not a scar on this weathered heart that doesn't have a story of your healing.
See, there you go.
From that, it was really scary, but I think I'm good now.
Okay.
And I feel fine. I went on tour and it was rough. I shouldn't have been on tour, I'll be honest, in the spring. I should have actually taken time off. My doctor said I was good, but I started having issues.
But your wife was like, you need to get on the road.
Yeah, we're building a house up.
Yeah, you need to get back out there. This could kill me. I remember going to my daughter once. Okay, so I had to have like a hernia surgery and like abdominal hernia surgery.
Yes.
And I was explaining to her, I said, hey, look, honey, I know we were going to do vacation this year, but I've got to do this surgery. And so it really is kind of like either we go on vacation or I do this surgery. And she looks at me at 8 years old and goes, is it life-threatening? She was that like, I'm telling you, I couldn't even be mad because her delivery was so perfect.
But she is your daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, what
am I going to say? You know, I'm like, okay, that's funny.
It's in the genes.
Yeah.
Right?
So we went on vacation. I winged it, and so I think I'm okay. So okay, they tell you this, and they tell you that it's normal and it's fine. We do these surgeries all the time. But was it still messing with you?
I was terrified.
Okay.
Yeah, because no matter what, there are dangers to the surgery. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because they're literally touching your heart with fire. I mean, I'm not saying it
not to be overly dramatic.
Not to be overly
but
dramatic,
I am.
But that's literally what they were doing. So, you know, to be honest, it was pretty terrifying. And I remember just, you know, I had to be completely knocked under. I mean, I came out because of the full anesthesia.
Yeah.
I had a tube in my throat, and it just jacked my voice up. It was just all that kind of stuff. But the hardest thing is, you know, I didn't share this a lot afterwards. It wasn't healed right away, and so I actually went into crazy AFib again on tour.
That'd be terrifying.
On tour. And so the whole tour was actually pretty terrifying. And I'll tell you this, so to now get it to more of like the the kind of serious part. So I remember like every night, I'm like, I'm not joking, man. I'd be on my knees like, Jesus, please help me. Like, I don't know if I start having this on stage, I'm gonna have to walk off stage. You know, one of the things that I did before my surgery while I was still having AFib is it happened on stage, and we had a whole medical team, EMT, you know, hooking me up, and like, it just was that whole scene. And so it was scary, but then every single night I felt so weak because I had to take this medication to help stop my heart from going into weird rhythms. I felt like I had the flu the whole tour. I'm not kidding you, bro, the whole tour.
I get it, yeah.
And so I'm like, God, please. And like, talk about singing songs like Take This Out of My Hands or Anxious Heart or I Still Believe or Walk by Faith. Like all these songs, every night, man, it was like they hit me like a ton of bricks because I would sing it with actual full conviction. You know, I always do anyway, but when you're going like, I'm going through this myself.
You're living it.
I'm living it right now.
Right.
But every single night I realized God would just breathe life into me. And in that, I really understood what it meant where he's like, I'm going to give you strength when you're weak. I'm going to show myself that it's not about you at all, because God would show up radically every single night. But I'm good now. My heart healed. I'm good now.
Did you have to make other changes in your life? Like, because you were already like in good shape and health.
I was healthy. And they even told me, they were like, hey, here's the thing. You're actually really healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so the only thing I have to do just to make sure is there's a thing called a beta blocker that I have to kind of, if I take like a small little tiny dose before I play, just to make sure my heart, even though they think my surgery's fine, they're like, let's just for precautionary before you play. So I do have to do that.
Good idea.
But other than that, I mean, I actually have been eating even cleaner. Like I'm eating more vegan now.
Oh, come on.
I know. No, listen, but I will
This
have.
makes me sad.
No, hold on, but I will have like a steak every once in a while.
Okay.
Or like I'll have, you know, I do have like salmon. I'll have that. But like I'm pretty clean. Yeah.
I looked at the doctor. He said, you're going to need to make some life changes. And I said, you need another job because I'm going to have to keep doing what I'm doing.
This is who I am.
Yeah, this is the way the Lord made me.
You talk to him.
Yeah, he's got my fate, not you, sir. No, I've made some changes, lost a little bit of weight and stuff.
You look great, by the way.
Thank you. That's really what I was going for. Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
That's all we needed.